Hey YouTubers, something important, something goddamn important. So I have a video right now, nice big ass video like a big ass cigar, just being silly ass like a big ass cigar. So in a ramble, nice big ass ramble like a big ass cigar, just being silly ass like a big ass cigar. So anyway, this ramble right now is discussing a follow-up to yesterday's video. So yesterday I discussed, is the word goy offensive, and I discussed how it's potentially offensive, fucking offensive. And my friend on Discord, Merch, nice big ass Merch like the big ass cigar, he basically wrote a comment, nice big ass comment like the big ass cigar, basically saying it's not necessarily offensive, meaning it could be potentially offensive, the word goy or goyim. However, it's not necessarily offensive. Just like, the word, moron, for example, fucking moron is not necessarily a derogatory word. It depends on how you use it. Like a lot of words in the English language and other languages in general, it depends how you fucking use the word. So somebody cuts you off in traffic, somebody's swerving across the lane and cuts you off in traffic, you say, you fucking moron, you fucking moron. Obviously, that's not derogatory. You're not talking about people with a low IQ. It's not like saying the word retard, for example, saying, you fucking moron for cutting me off in traffic. That's not considered to be derogatory because you're not talking about people with disabilities. Yes, the word moron originally meant somebody who's mildly mentally retarded, but it depends the context on how you use it. So same thing with the word goy or goyim. My friend on Discord, Merch, nice big ass Merch like the big ass cigar, being silly ass like the big ass cigar, he essentially explained how the word is not necessarily derogatory, but it depends on how you use it. Same thing with the word midget, for example. I thought the word midget is always a slur. I mean, it's always a derogatory slur for a little person or a dwarf, somebody with dwarfism, calling them a midget, a fucking midget, whatever. However, it's not necessarily a slur. You could say, for example, that puppy, for example, or that kitten, nice big-ass cat like the big-ass cigar, is the midget of the litter instead of the runt of the litter. So basically saying that puppy is the midget of the litter, or, for example, that candy bar is the midget candy bar. It's basically saying it's the smallest candy bar. Basically, the word midget is basically another word for something that's very small, very damn small in general. So it's not necessarily a slur. It depends on how you use it. Now, certain words, like, air quotes, certain words like the N word, for example, the K word for Jewish people, the W word for Italian people, the S word for Spanish people, are pretty much always fucking slurs, because those words, you can't really say that's an N-word candy bar, or that's an N-word cheeseburger, or that's an N-word milkshake. You really can't say that shit as bullshit is bullshit, However, for example, saying that puppy is the midget puppy, basically saying it's the smallest puppy out of the litter, big ass litter like the big ass cigar, is not necessarily talking about a little person, like, a dwarf or dwarfism. You're not talking about dwarfs in general. You're saying that puppy is the midget, which is basically the runt of the litter, not the being silly ass like a big ass cigar. Yeah, runt rhymes with see you next Tuesday, being silly ass like the big ass cigar. So I think context really fucking matters. It really fucking matters, context, because it really depends on how you use it. The word goy or goyim doesn't necessarily have to be derogatory. My whole fucking point in yesterday's video was it could be potentially, for my friend on Discord, Merch, nice big ass Merch like the big ass cigar. My whole point in yesterday's video was I wasn't saying, for example, that, words are always derogatory. What I was saying is certain words, air quotes, certain words could be potentially perceived as being derogatory. So I just wanted to clarify there, just so you're not confused, confused ass like the big ass cigar. Anyway, that's about it. So I think context is really key. How you use a word, how you view a word, and how you use a word in a sentence can have a big difference. There are certain words, like I said before, like the N word, for example, you really can't use that in any other context. But words like goy, for example, or midget, it really depends. Anyway, have a nice day. Pretty fucking cool. Bye-bye.